Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite makes the process of becoming a published, best-selling author as simple as sipping your morning cup of coffee. You can learn more about Authors Unite at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner, and today I have Mike Manzur with us. He's a results-driven social media marketing professional, mentor, public speaker, and budding philanthropist. So welcome to the show, Mike.
Big Tyler, thank you very much for having me.
Of course, man. Thank you for coming on, and we'll dive right in. So the first question that I have for you is, what's the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Yeah, great question. So, I ran track in high school. I'm pondering upon this great question. So many things that I could share, but I had a track coach in Dr. Michael M. Kropp Senior High School, North Miami Beach, or Aventura area in South Florida. Those of you are familiar. And Coach Terry, and he would yell at us when we were running, and he would say, keep pushing, and we're pushing, and I'm on the A squad in 9th grade. I'm running pretty good times. And he would yell, pressure makes diamonds, pressure makes diamonds. And that's one of the biggest takeaways from not only my high school tenure, but also in my life as I reflect on it, is, when we have challenging situations, they're blessings in disguise, and sometimes not in disguise. We could look at them from hindsight and realize that, that pressure helped mold our character and make us into a polished diamond.
And what's the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Yeah, you're going to hear this a lot during this interview, but I would say know your why. Whether that's a lifestyle brand, whether that's a YouTuber or an author or whatever your space of creation. As many prominent marketing professionals have noted, you are what you do as well as a media company. You are whatever you do as well as a content creator. And so I would just invite, everyone listening to know your why. In my case, my why is to, empower individuals to elevate in their hope and build meaningful connection in communities worldwide. And so I don't do that. I don't take it lightly. And I think the biggest takeaway here is the why. The why really transform you. The how informs, the how, knowing how, but the why transforms.
And what's your best piece of overall business advice, so not necessarily industry specific?
Yeah, it would be simple. Serve others. I think those who live for themselves often shrivel up and die figuratively. But when you serve others, you find a renewed sense of energy, not only in your work, but in your daily life. You're infused with, good feelings of charity. So I would say serve others.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Great question. Yeah. Just be courageous. I think growing up, I had mentioned to you just off of the official podcast that I don't drink. I also don't smoke. And so being in various environments in South Florida, Miami, Florida, specifically in the 90s, the crazy 90s, those of you who are here in the 90s in South Florida know, and in the 2000s, I was often made fun of or what have you, but being courageous and standing for what you believe in and having integrity is what I would give, my younger self.
And in your opinion, what's the key to happiness?
Oh, you're hitting it. These are great questions. I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. And so I feel the key to happiness is kind of going back to what I said earlier, is to serve others. Service is the linchpin to true happiness.
And what's the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
You know what? I'm going to go religious again. The best book I ever read is entitled The Book of Mormon, Another Testament of Jesus Christ. It's a religious text. But it taught me a lot, just like many people who ascribe to the teachings of the Bible. It's taught them a lot. But this book taught me how to avoid having pride enter into my business dealings. So thinking that I know more and being unteachable. So this book really changed my outlook on how to be teachable, how to be a sponge, and then how to serve others, through that knowledge that I've acquired.
And what's your favorite quote and why?
You know what? I have that here. So it's actually a quote by Calvin Coolidge. It's a little bit long-winded, but it's great. It says, quote, Calvin Coolidge, quote, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." Powerful.
Yeah, no, I love that
quote. And why? Sorry to cut you off. And why it's guided my life in various aspects, whether it's through hardships or whether it's through business success and pitfalls. Just staying persistent. Every single person that I've known with financial wealth, and not only that, but spiritual wealth, they're persistent. So that quote really is powerful.
Yes, man. Thank you so much for coming on, Mike. And the last question I have for you before we let you go is, where's the best place for people to find you online?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm one of the influencers on LinkedIn. So it's Michael A. Manzur, Manzur. And stay tuned because in a few days I'll be in LinkedIn in the Masters of LinkedIn conference out in LA. We're going to have fun out there, and I'm going to be posting a lot of videos. I do post daily on LinkedIn. Again, that's Michael A. Manzur, Manzur on LinkedIn. So reach out.
Perfect, man. Thank you so much again for coming on. We appreciate it.
No problem, my brother. You have a blessed day.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.